lot of earrings, necklaces, bracelets, and you're looking for something a little bit different, but just as fun, I've got a little brooch design here for you. You can also turn this into a hair barrette, or of course you can take this design, lengthen it, and make it into a bracelet or a necklace if you do want to do something like that to match. But beautiful, cute little design here. Check out the material list below and then we'll get started. We're going to start with our thread and needle, and we're going to pick up one RounDuo mini. And then I'm going to use my RounDuo mini just like a stop bead, and I'm going to take this thread and needle and go back through the same hole that I'm coming out of. So I'm just going to repeat that same motion and go through the hole again, letting that thread wrap around the bead. And then that will allow this bead to stay put on my thread. I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads. These are 15-ohs, and pick up another RounDuo mini. And another 3 seed beads, and another RounDuo mini. And I'm going to continue picking up 3 seed beads and 1 RounDuo mini until I have a total of 9 RounDuo minis. Once I've added those 9 RounDuo minis, I'm going to pick up 1 of my seed beads, and on this last RounDuo mini, I'm going to go through the open hole. And then that one little seed bead that I picked up will sit at the very end of the RounDuo mini. I'm going to pick up 3 more seed beads and then pass through the hole of the next RounDuo mini. So here I'm just connecting the second or the open holes of the RounDuo minis with another 3 seed beads. Just picking up 3 seed beads and then going through the next RounDuo mini using that open hole. So continue and go all the way down to the other side, and then we'll continue with this brooch. Once you have all 9 of your beads of your RounDuo minis and the holes on each of them connected with those 3 seed beads, we're going to work on adding some more rows or layers to the center here. And we're going to build off of that center. So here I am coming out of the last RounDuo mini here, pick up 1 seed bead, and I'm going to go through the other hole in the RounDuo mini. And I'm going to continue and go through the next 3 seed beads. And then once I'm coming out of these 3 seed beads, I'm going to pick up another RounDuo mini and then go down through the next 3 seed beads. And when I do that, it'll add the RounDuo mini that I just picked up, sitting right next to the RounDuo mini. That's part of the first section here that I made. So continue on here, picking up 1 RounDuo mini and go through the next 3 seed beads and add another RounDuo mini here next to the one that we have in the center. So we're just going to keep going down our piece here, adding 1 RounDuo mini next to the existing RounDuo mini that was part of the center section. Picking up a RounDuo mini and going through 3 seed beads and continuing this all the way down. So we're adding a total of 7. We started with 9 RounDuo minis, and 2 of them are just going to be hanging out on the ends here by themselves. So we've got 7 here that we've added to the center. I'm going to pick up 5 of my RounDuo, they are mini, my little 15-ohs. So I'm going to pick up 5 of my 15-ohs and go through that 1 single little seed bead at the end of my RounDuo. and pick up another 5 of my seed beads. Go through the 3 seed beads here, and then continue picking up a RounDuo mini and going through the next 3 seed beads. And then when I get to the other side here, I'm going to finish this RounDuo mini here at the end, just like I did over here with this one, adding 5 seed beads on either side of the single one. So continue on here following those steps until we get back to the other end here, and then we'll continue adding some seed beads. I followed the same steps here, adding those RounDuo minis to the other side, and I came around here adding my 5 seed beads to either side of this RounDuo mini here at the end. And then I passed through these 3 seed beads here. So now what I'm going to do is work on adding some seed beads to the very, very outside of my beads. Take your thread and pass through the very outside hole of that first RounDuo mini. And again, 3 seed beads. And we're just going to connect all of our RounDuo minis with those 3 seed beads. So 3 seed beads again, and just through the next RounDuo mini. And 3 seed beads, and through the next RounDuo mini. And just watch your tail there, your tail thread, because that can get caught, just like mine's getting caught. And it's not a problem if you catch it, but it can get caught and tangled and then make you feel really sad when you get a big knot or you get thread where you don't want it. So now here, coming out of my last RounDuo mini here at the end, I'm going to pick up 3 more of my seed beads, and I'm going to go directly into the 5 seed beads going around my last RounDuo mini here. So I'm going through the 5 seed beads and then the one at the top, the 5 on the other side. And coming out through the 5 on the other side of the RounDuo mini. Pick up another 3 seed beads and go through that outside hole in the first RounDuo mini on the edge there. And then again on this side, we're just going to connect all of those RounDuo minis with 3 seed beads. So far we're just building a really nice little base structure for our crystals to embellish. So continue adding those 3 seed beads, and then finish this end here the same way that you finished this end here with the 3 seed beads on either side. So we're going to continue around here, and then we'll get started on our crystals. Once you're done adding the seed beads, you're going to pass through this first RounDuo mini. We're going to make a little U-turn in our RounDuo mini and go through the other hole, the inside hole there. And then we're going to pass through the hole of the RounDuo mini directly next to it. So now your thread should be facing away from you, and it should be facing the largest portion of your project. We're on the second or the center RounDuo mini and the hole here to the right. Now we're going to work with our crystals, and we're going to go diagonally across from the center to the right, and then from the right to the center, center to the right, right to the center. So we're going to kind of zigzag up as we go to the work to the other side. So we're going to pick up one of our crystals, and you're just going to pick it up through the little cross in the back. It's a little bezel, and you're just going to pick it up through one of those. You'll see it looks like a little cross, and you're just going to go through one of those channels. And now we're going to go diagonally to the right, and we're going to go through the left side hole of our RounDuo on the right. And as you do that, you should see that your little crystal will sit diagonally over the 3 seed beads right below. And now we're going to pick up another crystal, and we're going to go diagonally across here, and we're going to go through the right hole of our RounDuo mini in the center here. And as you give your thread a little pull, just make sure that your crystal is sitting upward. And there you go. And we're going to continue here, adding our crystals until we get to the other end. So pick up that crystal and work diagonally forward and let that crystal fall in place. Pick up another crystal, and we're going to go diagonally forward and put that other crystal in place. And we're going to work here until we get to the other end. So now I have all my crystals in place on this right side. I'm going to flip this project and do the same thing on the other side. So I have my thread coming out of my RounDuo mini, and I'm just going to go through the other hole of the RounDuo mini here. So it's sort of like just like a mirrored reflection, where I'm going to do the same thing now. Coming out of my RounDuo mini, I pick up one crystal, and I go diagonally forward here through my RounDuo mini, pick up another crystal, and make sure you pick it up through that bezel in the back, and you're going to go diagonally forward again through to the next RounDuo mini. So continue until you get to the other end. And at this point, once you've got these crystals in, you can finish it just like this, or we can add some more seed beads along the edge. So I'll show you how to add some more seed beads along the edge, because that's what I like to do. And then we will finish this and make it into a wearable brooch. After adding all the crystals, we can continue on and embellish the outside here. You can see here's one that's got the outside, has the crystals, or excuse me, the seed beads on the outside as well. This is a little bit thinner, and this is a little bit thicker, so it's just up to you how you want to do it. If you do choose to add the seed beads along the outside, you're going to continue here through the 3 seed beads after your RounDuo mini, and then we're going to go to the right here, down through the 3 seed beads right next to where we're working, and we're going to go down through these 3 seed beads that sit right above the RounDuo mini here on the right. So I just went up these 3 seed beads and then went down the 3 right next to it. And then that will put my thread coming out over my RounDuo mini. I'm going to pick up 5 of my seed beads. And then I'm going to actually skip the first seed bead in my set of 3. And I'm going to go through just the center seed bead. And as I do that, it kind of creates a nice little design sitting here between the RounDuo minis. So pick up another 5 seed beads and pick up and pass through only the center seed bead in the next set of 3 on the other side of the RounDuo Mini. And that helps to, just like I said, add that little design. It makes it look a little bit more like the seed beads are sitting in between, and it gives it a nice little pattern there. So continue here, picking up 5 and going through the center seed bead. When you get to the other side, you're just going to follow your path of seed beads. You're just going to follow along the outside path of seed beads here until you get to the other side and repeat the same process. Again, just picking up 5 seed beads and going through the center seed bead in the next set of 3. I'm going to continue and finish this, and I'll show you what mine looks like when it's completely done. Once you have this piece finished, you're going to tie your thread ends off. And just a simple little overhand is all you need to do. And then you can burn them down or you can cut them. I'm going to cut them, but I'm not going to cut them too short, because I'm actually going to catch some of this end here when I do the next part. So I didn't cut it too close. Now to attach your piece here to the back of a pin, like you can see here, you can see that I designed this to fit over the pin, about the same sort of size there. So to put this on the pin, there's a couple different things you can do. You can leave it just like this if you want and sew it on, but what I like to do is I like to put it on a backing to make it stiff, and it will last a bit longer like that too if you put it on a backing. So this is just like a thick felt backing, and I didn't cut this too short because I can actually just tuck that underneath so that it stays between my piece and the backing. I'm going to glue this on. You can sew it on if you want, or you can glue it. If you choose to sew it, you're just going to sew it on. Just do some stitches anywhere you like just to hold it on there. If you're going to glue it on, you're going to use something like an E6000. And this is a new tube, so this is going to come out pretty quickly. You're going to puncture the end here. And once you got that punctured, I'm not puncturing it. I'm being too careful because I don't want it to ooze out too much. But once you do puncture the end here, it's going to start oozing out. So I'm just going to take my E6000 and put a little bit of it here on the back of my project. Now, some of you may be wondering why I am gluing beads, but I actually love doing this. I like creating pieces that are flat, and instead of embroidering them, kind of making them just look like embroidery by putting them on a backing. So I've got my E6000 glue here, and I'm just going to take this and press it down. Now, if it does ooze at all, that's fine. You can easily take it off of your beads. Once it dries, it can peel off the beads pretty easily, so you don't have to worry too much about that. But I concentrated it in the center here so that it didn't ooze out along the side. Now, if you want, you can do some further embroidery if you want to add to the edge of this and work on this, build it out a little bit. Of course, you can always sew on directly onto the embroidery backing, but I'm just going to let this sit until it dries, and then I'm going to cut it out. So I'm going to let this dry for a little bit and I'll let this, and I'm going to come back to this once it's dry and show you how to cut it out. You're going to want to use a nice sharp pair of scissors to cut this out. You don't want to use wire cutters or anything that is not designed for cutting a felt or fabric. And I'm going to go along here and sort of loosely cut out the shape, and paying a special attention to the straight edges. Those are the easiest. And I find that cutting straight lines is the easiest on a piece like this. And then going in and trimming, sort of cutting the edges here, cutting the corners to kind of round it out. So it's up to you exactly which tactic you want to use, but I find that coming in here doing some straight cuts and then trimming here along the edges works the best. So all you really need to do is cut it so that you don't see your felt beyond the edge. Of course, if you want that look, then that's what you're going to do. You can leave the felt as a border. You can also use your piece to trace on the felt, and then you can cut out the piece that you traced. So you've got a couple different ways of doing this, and my little version here is just one way. Sorry, it's kind of hard to it's hard to show exactly how to do this on video. Trying to keep this all in focus, but I'm sure you've all cut paper before, just like cutting a shape out of paper. And like I said, you can either glue this piece on first and cut around it, or if you want, trace it and then cut the piece, and then cut your felt piece out and glue the two pieces together at that point. So I'm going to continue to let this dry because I probably started working with it a little too early, but I'm going to continue to let this dry, clean it up a little bit, and then we'll glue on the back. Once you have this piece here glued together and it's fairly secure, we can then flip this over and put our pin back on. I always like to just make sure that my pin back is working and then I know how to use it, because you don't want to get yourself in a situation where you put a pin back on that has some sort of issue where you either don't know how to work it yourself, or very occasionally you might get one, especially if you get one at a craft store. It might have a little burr on it or something that you have to file down. So I just like to open it and just make sure that it works and it feels good. And I'm going to flip this piece over here. And I'll find the center. Now, if you want, you can put a little line here, draw a little line with a marker so you know where you're putting your glue. But I think I'll be okay here. I'm just going to center this, put this on here so that I see exactly where I want to put the glue, where that should go. And then I'm going to put just a nice little thin line of glue here. And this will squish out. And like I said, where it squishes out, it's easy to take off if it gets on something that you don't want it to. And you're going to push down. You actually want the glue to come up through those holes, because they'll come up through those holes, they'll kind of dome over those holes, and that will actually hold your glue, or that will actually hold your back onto your piece. And just make sure that I've got it centered. And there's my little brooch. You can also, of course, sew this on. I chose to just do the glue option because we do so much sewing. And if you've done any sort of beading before, you already know how to sew. So it's not you already know how to sew. So it's not as if you probably need more more instruction in sewing. So I wanted to show you how to do it sort of a cheat or an easier way and do it with the glue. I'm going to let this piece dry entirely before I wear it, definitely overnight, and I'll make sure that this dries and I get any little pieces off that I don't want to see. This is the back, so I wouldn't worry about a little glue oozing out. You just want to make sure that the glue isn't getting on any of the mechanical parts here that need to work, or on anything on the front here that you want to see. So I'm going to let this dry and then I'll be ready to wear it.